Yeah, JJ, we saw the news about Jackson, but just how do you feel like you're going to fill in for that? He's been a player that you've been pretty complimentary of, and how he's developed and impacted things off the bench.
Disappointed. Feel for Jackson, especially coming off the last 2 games that he had for us. Kind of honestly a freak play in practice. He was against coaches, and he didn't even land on an ankle. He just kind of it was just an awkward kind of fall, and his ankle rolled. There was no contact. So, I'm bummed for Jackson. Talked to him today. He's in good spirits. He recognizes his importance for our team, and we're gonna, rely on Christian Koloko, to fill those minutes. And depending on matchups, there may be opportunities to play small, but we're very confident and comfortable with Christian.
You used him, of course, in the Memphis game when AD and Rui were out. Would you look at Armel Traore in any spots? Is he in like a similar place of Christian in terms of you could call him up and use him in situations like these?
We know Armel is what's the phrase? He's all out at all times. He's he goes 150%. It's just there's an intensity to how he plays. So if we need that, we'll look for that. But he's certainly a body and insurance in case there's any issues. And being down 2 bigs now, I feel like he needs to be with us.
Of course, you just saw Memphis last week. No Ja this time around. We're going to wait and see on Marcus Smart. How are they most different without Ja and kind of the thrust that he brings?
Yeah, it's interesting. I would say they are different than previous versions of their team with Ja, even with Ja this year. His pick and roll usage is way down. His ISO numbers are down. They're very much a concept team, similar to like in Indiana. They want to score in the first 8 seconds. When they drive middle, they're going to use wheel action. Again, I said this earlier, I think yesterday, they scored 134 points against Portland and barely ran a play. They're going to play fast. So, and they were playing that way with Ja. So we talk about with the group, doesn't matter who's playing for us, it's how we play. To me, they're the sort of epitome of that. I think back to those sort of vintage, 2010 to 2017 Spurs teams where they could sit out one of their big 3 and you'd see Patty Mills come off, and start a game, or, Bellinelli, and it's like they play a certain way and they're hard to guard, and Memphis is that.
Yeah. JJ, I think in the update it said Jackson had an MRI. Is it a grade 1 sprain? Do you guys have?
It's 1 to 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are the marching orders then for Koloko? This will be probably the most extended playing time. I mean, he's had in a year and a half. What are you guys looking for from him specifically?
To fill, in some ways, the role that Jackson has, which is be a defensive presence, know our coverages. You watch it on tape from the Memphis game. He's got a real presence in terms of his length, like his presentation, even just sprinting back on defense. He's always got his arms out. He's talking. Be a vertical threat, be a rim threat, be a screener. Jackson, I think for us internally, looking at last year, talking to him over the summer, being with him in the gym in preseason, we put such an emphasis on Jackson on forcing overs. He's gotten a lot better at that. Need Christian to continue to sort of fill that role.
JJ, how do you make sure that you don't put too much on AD's plate during this stretch here with Christian out, Jackson out? I'd even throw Vando in there, just the front court being a bit depleted. How do you make sure he's dealing with obviously coming off the eye injury, now the foot as well.
Yeah, I don't think our approach changes. We have gone into sort of every game with trying to manage not just his playing time, but just his like workload. That's a day-to-day thing. That's not even on just game days. You know, it's again with Ish and with Mike. Like there's constant sort of check-ins. There's constant check-ins with AD and LeBron. You know, I don't show practice plans to every player. Those guys get to see the practice plan. Like this is an ongoing, all the time thing. I don't think that approach changes at all. Again, I kind of answered Mike's question, and you have to look at Christian, of course, and you potentially have to look at playing small at times if that opportunity presents itself.
It seems like LeBron's been more involved offensively, especially with the ball in his hands. How intentional was that, especially considering the starting lineup change? And I guess how much was that byproduct of swapping D'Lo for Cam?
I don't necessarily think it was a byproduct of swapping D'Lo for Cam. I think when you start a season, you try to implement a philosophy and identity and a system, and then you adapt within that, and that's going to happen for the next 10 games as well.
D'Lo mispractice with the illness. We know his status for tonight.
He's good to go.
And just kind of housekeeping as you anticipate this road trip, what's going to be your plan for your younger players, including Bronny? Will he be traveling with you guys? I think the G League South Bay has a game on Friday as well.
Yeah, I'll figure that out tomorrow.
Hey, you've described yourself as a, quote, basketball sicko. I was wondering what your personal definition of that is and how you feel like it's impacted your coaching approach.
I can tell you it's impacted my personal life.
Any impact you care to share? Also the definition that you would give it, yeah.
The definition, I mean, just somebody who just is obsessed with basketball. Just someone who's willing to get into the weeds all the time. Somebody who somehow I relate everything back to the game of basketball, and somehow every connection that I have in my life has been formed or reinforced through the game of basketball. And look, I think it impacted me as a player because that's who I was as a player, and it's who I am as a coach. There's not a difference to me in terms of my day-to-day. Being back in this now, where you took I was obviously part of basketball, but you take a break for 3 years and then you get back into it, and you're just easily reminded of how much of your bandwidth and brain just gravitates towards basketball, and that can have an impact on your personal life.
Hey, JJ, Crystal Rich, good to see you again. Just going back to the backcourt and D'Lo coming off the bench, is that something that we're going to see for the next good stretch, or is that kind of like a game-to-game decision?
It's fluid.
Will he be coming off the bench tonight?
Yeah, same starters tonight that we've had the last two games.
JJ, after AD gets his fifth, and I think you're down 9, Dalton gets the back-to-back threes, and then the Rui free throws. But what was it like seeing Dalton come through in that setting, and kind of how much of what he was able to do was coming off scripts and what you were looking for, and how much did he just make happen?
I thought he was the catalyst for our comeback. It wasn't just AD being in foul trouble and time and score. It was also just the energy. We, for whatever reason, we were having trouble getting stops and had some turnovers, didn't execute, and we kind of lost our life a little bit. And I thought those back-to-back ones were huge. got the crowd into it, got our bench into it, gave us a new life. He was fantastic. Not just shooting the ball. We've been challenging him lately to just be tougher, be more in tune with our game plan. I'm not going to say it was perfect, but baby steps, and he was great tonight.
JJ, 3 straight triple doubles for LeBron. Even played a couple shifts of center tonight. What could you say about tonight's performance and the last couple of games?
Yeah, I mean, it's just by any means sometimes, and great players, you sort of have to give them some autonomy at times. We executed back-to-back plays out of an ATO. We got a LeBron dunk, and then we got an 83. And there was another timeout on their side, and Braun saw something in the way that they had guarded it the first 2 times, and him and AR, I said, are you 3? You on the same page? Just want to make sure you 3 are on the same page. The other 2 guys are doing the same thing. They're like, yeah, we got it. Braun gets a back cut for a dunk. So he's just, he's mastered the game, and we don't win that game obviously without him, but it is. I thought it was a total team effort because we had some adversity tonight. Christian was great in the second half, and even just our life and our energy on the bench just completely shifted. Even the guys that didn't play tonight, they're just energy on the bench. That was huge for us. We kind of lost our way there in the third quarter.
JJ, there were so many just amazing moments in this game. You talked about Dalton, talked about LeBron. Something else that sticks out was AD late, being able to stretch the floor and hit 2 threes and force a rim protector to come out and guard him. How big was that?
Yeah, it was a game of composure and poise for him. Didn't get it going offensively early. I felt comfortable playing him with a little bit of foul trouble. When he got the 5th, obviously we had to take him out of the game. But I think just throughout the game, there were times where he could have gotten frustrated and he didn't, and he just stayed the course. And he was huge down the stretch. The threes, the ISO jumper out of our flow set, and then getting to the foul line right after that, and just impressed with the poise and composure from AD tonight.
Staying on AD, he ended up being just a hair shy of his season average in minutes, but what kind of stress or trickle-down effect does it does it cause to you and your coaching staff and in your rotation when a guy gets in foul trouble like that?
I mean, when it's one of your best players, or it's hard to manage, particularly putting Christian in just his second game with us, and not having Jackson. Again, it kind of goes back to what I said earlier. It's just like by any means, and Christian, I thought, had some really good plays, not just the finishes at the rim, but defensively as well in those minutes.
JJ, well, you were winning this game tonight. The guy you're going to see on Friday, Victor Wembanyama, scored 50 points. This is where this portion of the season, the NBA Cup, begins for you guys. Knowing this team a little bit competitively, how do you think they're going to approach this opportunity to repeat? And then, I guess, along those lines, the challenge of having to start with Wemby.
Yeah, no, I'll say I expect our guys to be highly competitive. I've said this a number of times last year. You don't need to, give a reason to competitive people to compete. They wake up in the morning and they want to compete. And the games count for the regular season. We all recognize how difficult the Western Conference is, and every game is going to matter. And you're going to look back in mid-March in that stretch that we have of 8 games with some really difficult stuff, and you're going to look back at games like tonight that we were able to pull out a win, and recognize the importance of it as we're fighting throughout the season for playoff seeding. And as far as Wembanyama, fantastic player, love him as a human, and Wex is probably loading my San Antonio scout onto my computer right now, so I'll get into that tonight.
JJ, along those lines, this time last year, you were one of us getting ready for the NBA Cup. So will it give you an extra jolt at all, seeing that new floor and all that type of stuff? And
Yeah, I mean, I found out that the coaches also get a bonus, so yes, jolt me away. Jolt me away.
Rui, is there something about the Grizzlies jerseys that you see? Go back to the first two games in the playoff series. I think the last four you've been like over 75% from the field. Is there something where you just seem to find a rhythm against them?
I mean, I don't know. It's just, for me, it's just, every game I'll try to play like that. But it's just the way they guarded me. It's just for me to kind of get in the good rhythm, and also, this game was very personal for us. We talk about it because when we got kind of, we lost kind of bad last game. I didn't play, but I think that was I was in my head that today's game going in, I think I was kind of thinking about, okay, I want to kind of, help this team to win. So, yeah.
Clearly, you've had these kind of games against them before, but how about Dalton coming in all 5 of his threes? What kind of boost did that give you?
Yeah, he for sure hold us to the game. We kind of, beginning of the third quarter, they got in the rhythm. I think they were up 10 or something, and we kind of didn't get in. We couldn't get in the rhythm, but I think he kind of bring us back to the game, and we were able to win this game. So yeah, it was a lot of big time by him.
Rui, what do you make of LeBron's performance during this homestand? 3 games, 3 triple-doubles, 39 years old. Just kind of what do you make of what he was able to do for you guys over these 3?
Yeah, he's the master of the game. He knows how to play. He always read the game. He doesn't always force anything. He just go for the flow, and he's just great. He can of course make us look good. The teammates, he can pass the ball, he can score, he can defend, rebound, everything. I think for me it's just a matter of we kind of relied on him a lot sometimes, but I think now we have a good system of help each other kind of on the court, offensively, defensively. So I think it's a lot of the weight pressure off him, so like kind of he can kind of be kind of chill, and still he can be himself. So yeah, I think it's good.
Rui, the NBA Cup starts on Friday for you guys. Started last night, but you play the Spurs. When you look back last year, you guys were champs. There was a bit of a lull that followed it. Did you guys learn anything as a group from that experience, and what's your approach this year?
We just won the money, that's I think that's the one thing we kind of, last year, we are very motivated. We have the big prize, and we're playing in the Vegas, that's like, and the Vegas is like our home court basically, there's a lot of those old Lakers fans. We always go there, preseason game, and we always have a good time there. So yeah, I think we just gotta, it's a good thing, sometimes the season is 82 games straight to all the way to, the All-Star is like so long, and then we kind of get sometimes bored, So I think this tournament thing kind of motivate us to kind of get in like different level, and especially for us to kind of make to the playoff and then, go to the championship. We have to kind of, it's good that we kind of build our chemistry early on. So I think it's good. It's a good thing.
Rui, I want to take you back to that first quarter. You said you were in your head a little bit before the game, wanted to contribute. You did exactly that. Before the first time out, you hit 2 threes, and that first quarter offensively kind of felt clinical. How important was it for you and this team to have a really good outing out the gates?
Yeah, like you say, we needed a good start. Sometimes we kind of it's kind of we have a slow start. So I think today, yeah, of course, I made those 2 threes, but also the defensively we are kind of moving to. We are guarding. They had almost no idea. We talk about we have to get back. They want to play early. That's the only way they can score basically. So we talk about that and then we execute. So I think that was a good first quarter for sure.
Dalton, in the early third quarter, when you're watching Memphis kind of go on their run, did you sense the energy from the team kind of leave a little bit? And did you feel like you were able to re-spark some of that? Like JJ, that's what JJ told us. But I was curious if you could sense kind of the game getting flat early there in the third.
I didn't. I just think they came out and punched us in the mouth, and then, I was able to help energize us and punch them back in the mouth at the end of the day. I think we just went out there and played Laker basketball at the end of the day, and I got hot, and they kept feeding me.
What's the last couple weeks been like for you as you've been trying to find your shot? We all seen it in the preseason. We saw it early on in the season. What's it just been like for you to try to find it again?
It's been good. I trust my shot, and I work on it every single day, and my teammates know that, and they want me to keep shooting the ball every single day or every single game. They always look for me, and, JJ got tons of confidence in me, always calling my number and having plays for me. So, I'm just going out there staying confident and not only just trying to shoot the ball but find my teammates and then play defense and grab rebounds.
Speaking of finding your teammates, how big of a moment was it for you to be able to find Christian for the dunk? And it seemed like that was when the arena kind of the tide turned in the momentum.
It was good. I don't remember much except grabbing the ball, and I saw Koloko running, and then I just threw the ball up for a lob, and he dunked it, and it was good to see that and see the energy in crypto. It was just real good to see that.
Dalton, JJ mentioned during the Sacramento Kings game in the fourth quarter, he told you, are you ready to hit a big shot? You said, yeah, and you hit one, and the team went on to score 21 unanswered and win the game. Tonight wasn't that dramatic, but it was a close game, and you were a big part of that surge there. What was Reddick telling you or your teammates telling you as you started getting hot and the comeback was kind of happening and you were involved?
They just said the same thing that they always say, just keep shooting the ball and play with confidence. JJ has a lot of trust in me, and just to go out there and do what I do and shoot the ball, get to the rim, find teammates. And, I got the hot hand. Bron was finding me in transition, and I was just letting that thing fly.
You mentioned a few times that, JJ has a lot of confidence in you. He's told us the same as well throughout this whole stretch, that he's confident that you're going to find your shot. Is there any piece of advice he's given you throughout this time? And if you could just speak a little bit on what that relationship has been like so far between the two of you?
Yeah, he, from the jump, since Summer League, he was teaching me how to set up my defender to make it a lot easier to not only just get wide open looks, but just get my man into the screen. So really I watched him in college, learning he set his man up and how he came off screens to just get the ball and get wide open looks. And I did that a lot in Tennessee. And then, now I could just ask him in person, like, hey, how do you do this? And he's been helpful every single step of the way. So it's always good to have that trust.
Dalton, to close out the game like that with the starters, JJ's talked about how, lineups and rotations can be fluid throughout the season. But, just what did you make of that group out there, playing with the starters, and then kind of specifically, your chemistry with Austin in the backcourt?
It was fun playing in crunch time, when every single play matters. It was a lot of fun going out there and hearing the energy on the court. And then, me and AR have been close. He texted me a long time throughout college and just gave me pointers throughout my time there. And then, now he's my teammate, so I could always go to him and ask him questions, and he's been super helpful.
Hey, Dalton. You had that crazy shootout with Edie in March. What was it like facing him in the NBA?
It was good. We had our time there, and then, now it's in the NBA, so it's been a lot of fun just going out there and, just competing, at crypto with the lights and stars out there. So it's been fun.
Speaking of college, Tennessee Rick Barnes and that system, how did that kind of prepare you for situations like today?
I think it helped me a lot. This was a physical game, and that was something that we pride ourselves on at Tennessee, was being the most physical team and going out there and hitting people. So I'd say that was probably the biggest thing. And then, just a free flow offense, kind of like how JJ runs.
Thanks, Dalton.
Appreciate it.